that we will develop capacity for green hydrogen. Green hydrogen now is going to be absolutely clean. Renewable energy is used for producing green hydrogen. There aren't any emissions at all. Renewable energy is used and there aren't any emissions at all. Now this makes use of that process of electrolysis in which the water molecule is split up into its elemental form of hydrogen and oxygen. This will require energy, and this energy which is used is renewable energy. This process of electrolysis requires energy. This energy which is used is the renewable energy. Right, so it becomes completely clean. ये जो hydrogen अब बनी है ना, this hydrogen will be called as green hydrogen. Write down. Green hydrogen has following applications. Green hydrogen has following applications. The first one, it can decarbonize the transport sector. It can decarbonize the transport sector through hydrogen fuel cell EVs. Through hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, hydrogen fuel cell EVs. Next, it can be burnt in internal combustion engines. It can be burnt in internal combustion engines to produce power. To produce power. Next, it can be used to decarbonize. It can be used to decarbonize steel and cement sector. Steel and cement sector, fertilizer plants, and oil refineries. So green hydrogen has applications across industry and transport sector. Heavy industry, be it steel, be it cement, oil refineries, all of them, they can use green hydrogen because green hydrogen is, or hydrogen, any type of hydrogen. Basically, I am saying green hydrogen because our national hydrogen mission is for green hydrogen. So this is combustible. It undergoes combustion. But when it undergoes combustion, of course, there are not going to be carbon emissions. बेटा वो तो समझ आता है ना, जब element ही H2 है, तो CO2 थोड़ी बन जाएगा combustion होने पे. So there are not going to be any emissions. Then for transport sector, there are hydrogen powered fuel cells. Now they can provide electric vehicles. Now the EVs which we find commonly in India, be it the 4-wheelers or be it the 2-wheelers, electric vehicles running on Indian roads, they are lithium ion battery based EVs. Lithium ion battery based EVs. Now these lithium ion battery based EVs are different from hydrogen based EVs. Hydrogen based EVs are hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. Hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. Understand what happens in this case. Lithium ion battery powered EVs. In this, battery needs charging. So there are charging stations which are coming all over the city of Delhi. You find charging stations at various locations, right? So the battery is charged at the charging station. And then depending upon the capacity of the battery, the vehicle will run for several hundreds of kilometers. Charging station gets energy from the grid. है ना? Grid right now is thermal. पढ़ा ना 56% of our energy mix is from fossil fuel based. What are we doing? We are anyway burning coal at an off-site thermal power plant, producing energy, giving that to our grid. Grid gives it to the charging station. Charging station पर battery charge हुई, EV चला, तो coal तो कहीं ना कहीं burn हुआ. Still there is an advantage. Still there is an advantage of these EVs. Because the conventional vehicles, petrol, diesel-based vehicles, they have lot of tailpipe emissions of air pollutants. So for petrol and diesel-based vehicles, the tailpipe emissions are not just carbon-based emissions, but they emit particulate matter 2.5 and 10. They emit NOx emissions as well. And beta, in the EVs, these emissions aren't going to be there from the tailpipe. At the thermal power plant, of course, they're going to be there. But if we have to correct the problem, mitigate the concern of air pollution in cities like Delhi, or in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities of India. Air pollution is widespread across all the cities of our country. If we have to mitigate air pollution, our vehicular emissions must reduce. And to reduce our vehicular emissions, EVs are the way forward. Right? So still they are an advantage. But I am just telling you कि don't be under the conception कि EV, lithium ion वाला EV completely clean है. नहीं है. वो कहीं और thermal power plant में emission किया हुआ है. Right? हाँ, Delhi में emission नहीं होगा. So at least show the problem of the pollution which Delhi has. The problem aggravates in this winter season. But ऐसा नहीं है कि Delhi doesn't have any endemic sources and only stubble burning is to be blamed. Stubble burning is one of the sources of air pollution in Delhi. Otherwise, Delhi has a lot of emissions of vehicular exhaust as well. Right. Achha, the advantage of hydrogen fuel cell EVs is, in these hydrogen fuel cell EVs, they work on a different technology. Here, the battery doesn't need charging, etc. Here, in the battery, electrochemical reactions happen. Electrochemical reactions happen. In those electrochemical reactions, it is reverse electrolysis which happens basically. Hydrogen and oxygen, they are made to combine to form the water molecule. So basically, if this is the chemical reaction, emission हो रहा है क्या? कहीं दिख रहा है CO2? नहीं, ये पानी बना, पी लो इसको. So this is completely clean, reverse electrolysis. बच्चे, in this process, electricity, electrochemical है ना, ये था chemical part. The electric part of it is, electric current is generated. And on that electric current, the battery runs or the vehicle runs. Right? So hydrogen fuel cell EVs are more advantageous as compared to lithium ion powered battery EVs. The next one is FAME India, faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. Now under FAME India, government is encouraging both. Right now, government is encouraging all types of EVs. Right now, which EVs we are dependent on? Lithium-ion battery-based EVs. But in future, hydrogen fuel cell EVs also are going to be part of the FAME India program. And the last one is Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Often an uncelebrated initiative, but this is the most important one because this comes for the most marginalized of the country. The three which I discussed, be it hydrogen mission or FAME India or ethanol, is for the affluent sections. But Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana does not just have an environmental impact, it has an socio-economic impact as well. Because it reduces the burden of indoor air pollution for the most marginalized and the poorest sections of the country. When the burden of indoor air pollution reduces, the mother's health and the child health are improved. The burden of the cost of health expenses, that reduces. Infant mortality rate reduces for that population. Lesser the infant mortality rate, better are going to be the socio-economic outcomes for that strata of our country. Right? But the bottleneck in implementation is refilling rates are poor. Because subsidize to दी सरकार ने, but what is the alternative? Traditional cooking fuel? Traditional cooking fuel क्या है? Cow dung and firewood. वो तो complete zero cost है ना? उसका तो कुछ cost ही नहीं है firewood and cow dung का. तो अब आप zero cost के साथ couple of hundreds को जब compete करोगे तो of course zero cost वाला is going to be more cost effective. So government must cross subsidize. This is an excellent initiative. Government must cross subsidize somewhere so that this LPG becomes completely free of cost for that strata of our economy. Right? More on this as and when developments happen. COP29 will happen in November. So you keep on updating from the current affairs. If there is something too technical, I'll post a video lecture. That's all. Thank you, class.